Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, where we're going to be introducing Accudemia 9.0. My name is Chad Blodgett. I'm a business development manager here at Engineerica Systems, and today I will be your host during today's webinar. Now, before we begin, just let everyone know we're actually going to be recording today's webinar, and we're going to be sending everyone who registered a link to the recording so you can watch it later, or you can share it with someone else who wasn't able to make the webinar. Also, as you may notice, everyone will be muted during today's presentation, just to kind of keep the background noise to a minimum. And also, we're going to have a Q&A after today's presentation. But you can also submit your questions in the chat at any time. Someone may answer it during the webinar, or we may decide to answer your question at the very end during our Q&A section. Now, to submit your questions, if you click on the little red or orange arrow, and you'll see something that says questions. You'll be able to enter any type of question or comment you want into that question section. Again, someone might be able to answer it live, or we may wait to the end to answer the question out loud for everyone else to hear as well. Now, before we get started with today's webinar, I want to go over a couple things. A couple announcements. Our Accudemia monthly session Tech Talk and User Spotlight. It happens every Tuesday of the month. There's a link here where you can actually view past sessions. I'll put that in the chat box so you can click on it to view our past sessions. But again, it's every Tuesday of the month, and we go over a different topic of Accudemia. And also sometimes we have user spotlights. We'll have someone who's an Accudemia user that will discuss how they use Accudemia within their center. We also have our educational series where we have a keynote who will come do a webinar with us. It's every first Thursday of the month. This can be on a variety of topics. Again, I'll also put this link in the chat box so you can click on there to view past keynote speakers and who's going to be coming up as our next keynote speaker. And I just wanted to introduce our other presenters today. First, we're going to have Garrett Effers, one of our support specialists, going over some of the things that are going to be new in this latest update of Accudemia. We're then going to have Nick Armstrong, our senior support specialist, going over some new features as well. And then we're going to end it with our newest support specialist, Justin, to again also go over some of the new features and enhancements in Accudemia 9. I'm going to quickly go over a couple of things that are new. I'm going to highlight some of the bigger features. I won't go through everything because again, Garrett, Nick, and Justin are going to go over those with you in more detail. But we're actually introducing a new support Dropbox, basically an asynchronous way that students can submit papers or submit questions so you can help them asynchronously rather than being a drop-in or appointment. We also are going to be adding a per service appointment durations. So for example, if you offer like a tutoring and a writing service and the appointment durations need to be different, you're now going to be able to set duration limits on a per service level rather than a per center level. We have also going to be introducing our new Android Accudemia app. So students have a new student-facing app. It's been out for Apple. We're now releasing our new Android app, as well as Google Calendar Sync. We have our Outlook 365 sync already, and we're going to be introducing a new Google Calendar Sync. Some of the other enhancements are going to include things like enhancements to the homepage widgets, the engagement board, some things with appointments, Accudemia app notifications as well, and again, some of our presenters today will be going over these things in depth. Next up, I want to introduce Garrett Effers, again, one of our support specialists, and he's going to be going over our support Dropbox.
And thank you for such a welcoming introduction, Chad. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Like Chad said, this is our Accudemia 9 introduction webinar. So today what I'm going to be going over with you is just to give you an idea of the new feature that we're coming out with Accudemia 9, the support Dropbox module. And as you can see there, it's a very clean web page. This is going to be its own module within Accudemia. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in and immediately just take a look at what we got going on here. So what we're looking at right now is going to be our demo university here on the Engineerica side of things. And our new support Dropbox module is going to be located at Center Attendance Support Dropbox. And once again, this is from the student's point of view right now, and we will tag on to the admin side of things closer to the end. So to give you a brief idea of what we have here, a welcome message, completely customizable by the admins of the institution, filters by center, and then a specific search bar for ticket number, subject, assignee, report, or subject area, and of course an extra filter status drop down that'll allow you to sort ascending or descending depending on what you're looking for. Now, moving over to the menu here, a student's going to have 3 views. They're going to be able to see their open tickets, their closed tickets, and all of their tickets in one go. But I'm sure you're asking, okay, well, what happens when they create a ticket? They're going to be asked for some very simple information. First, they're going to see a welcome message that, once again, this is a welcome message customizable by the admins. They're going to enter in a summary of their ticket, type in a quick description of the problem to give their tutor some more information about what services they need. If they want to add a file, they have the option to do so as well. And then they're going to go through and select which center they're submitting this ticket to. So are they submitting to the Student Success? Are we going to the Math and Science Center? And then it's going to ask them to select the subject that they're looking for assistance in. Now, once a ticket gets submitted, you're going to see it pop up. The student's going to see it, the admin's going to see it, the tutor's going to see it. And from here, they can click into the ticket itself, see the description, see the summary, all of the information that the student filled out, and if they have any comments after they do the work, if it's a document revision, financial aid assistance, or just asynchronous assistance, if they need tech support or anything like that, whatever we can use this system for, I recommend it. Now, like you can see, both the tutor and the student are going to get notifications whenever a ticket status is changed from open to closed to in progress. Any notes, comments, documents, images, and videos will also be seen on both sides. And I'm sure you're asking yourself, that screen flashed, what was that? So I want to draw your attention to this live refresh button that we have with the support Dropbox module. It will automatically refresh on its own after a certain time period, or of course, like you just saw, you can manually click that and have it refresh instantly. So really quickly, let's take a look and see what this looks like from the admin's point of view. So here's my account, my personal account on our demo. And for the admin, it's going to be the same navigation. So center attendance, support Dropbox. Now there are a few differences here naturally as we are in an admin role. The admin can see the unassigned tickets. These are tickets where the assignee was set to automatic and they were left there so that we could go through them and pick which tutor that we wanted to handle this issue. The admins are also going to be able to see all of the entire college's tickets, so that if any research, any tickets need to be seen for whatever reason, an admin has access to all college tickets. Now, on that same note, let's talk briefly about the reports and what exports come with this student Dropbox module. So with this, we have a support Dropbox tickets export that is custom to a specific date range and locations by center. You would select your center and of course move forward with the export just like you would any report in Accudemia. As well, there are some new settings that come with this module. That's going to be administration control panel, just like all of your settings for Accudemia. And it's going to be the nice support Dropbox right there in the front for you. You'll click into here, and this is where you're going to be able to customize that welcome message and that instruction message that we were talking about earlier, and as well control the email notifications that get sent out to both staff and ticket owners. These notifications go out whenever there's a new comment made or whenever the status was changed. And of course, the staff assigned will get an email notification whenever there's a new ticket assigned to them. But I'm very excited about this module. We put a lot of hard work into this, and I feel like this is really going to help students connect better with their tutors and gain assistance through an asynchronous module without having to actually set up an appointment. But this is the introduction for our support Dropbox module. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Nick to go over some more features and enhancements with Accudemia.
Thank you, Garrett. There we go. Okay. I just had to get the PowerPoint going. There we go. So I'm going to be covering some of the new appointment features that we have now in the system. So I'm going to jump over to them. But just to kind of go through the list, we have a new per service appointment duration. And this stemmed from, having different services in some of the centers that needed to have unique times set for appointments. So we're going to see how that works. Let me pull that up. So this is going to be found under the administration control panel, and it's going to be under the appointment section for your center. So I'm going to go with the Student Success Center here. And if you go in your restrictions, the settings that we're talking about actually are right here on duration restrictions. So we still have this here as like a center-wide kind of default settings, where you can say, we have a minimum of 15 minutes, a maximum of 45 minutes maybe, and the default length, or what people get out of the gate without changing the drop-down, is 30 minutes. And then you would kind of repeat that down here, like all your, different times that you would offer. So these same settings now, instead of just being at the center in the control panel, can actually be adjusted at the center service level. So I'm going to go to Administration, Centers, and Classrooms to get to it. And once I find my center, just click on the title or the name and go to the Services tab. So in addition to the modalities that we had added in a recent update before that, right below that, we now have these duration restrictions that can either use the centers settings. This is what it'll do by default, by the way, or I can go ahead and say use service-specific durations. So you can see all those same settings that we had in the control panel for the center itself. And in this case, let's say this particular service, they offer only 60-minute appointments, and that's the only duration allowed. So then I can get very specific for that service. And when folks are scheduling appointments, there's no question that, that's all they're going to be able to do for that service. So I can go ahead and make that change and save it. And when I go to do a quick new appointment, grab a random student here and that first service. And we're going to do for this course. Okay, so you can see in the drop down I can only do 1 hour. When that center, if I go back and choose a different service, let's say group tutoring for the same course. Oh, maybe there was some settings there that were set the same. Let me see. Service. Okay, I'm going to say use the centers settings for this one, accept and save. Yeah, I must have been using that in testing, sorry. So, yep, let's do the same thing, quick new appointment. And it actually remembered where I was at. So now it does have those options. But that's what I was trying to show is if we go from this one should have the 1 hour only. And if I go to the other service, same course. Now I've got all the normal center options. Pretty cool, right? All right, so let me go ahead and go to the next one. So I've got appointment filtering by service and sign-in notifications for tutors. Let's go ahead and take a look at those. So if we're looking back at the appointment screen under center attendance appointments view all, in here, if let's say I'm looking back at like last semester's, where I have a lot of data, or maybe you get a lot of visits or a lot of appointments scheduled, and I have a ton of different things showing up. One of the requests was to build a filter out on the service. So if let's say I want to see only my online services, I can put in the keyword online, and you can see that the service, any of the services that have the word online, I can see. Maybe I want to see all the tutoring options. So I'm basically filtering the list, and anywhere that I offer that tutoring, then that's going to be what shows up. And let's say I have another one like workshops. So it's really easy to kind of see those workshops and filter those out, so I don't have to kind of view the whole list scrolling down. Now we also added this sort by, so maybe it's not an issue where you need to limit the data, but you want it sorted differently. So the sort by gives you all types of different options. You can sort by service, by student's last name, first name, staff's last name, first name. So this is going to be pretty nice to be able to do as well. And that was all part of that same update there. Now, I know this is in the appointment, but this is actually the sign-in notifications. This is actually for dealing with drop-ins. So I just put it in the wrong part of the slide here. But so to do that, we're going to look at our center attendance, manage center. And this is the screen when you're working in Accudemia in the center, where you're going to see any of the students that signed in. If you enable your wait line, you'd also see if there was any students waiting, like we have here. And basically we have 3 different options that are available now. When a student goes in the wait line or they're signed in, if you don't have the wait line, you can be emailed, text messaged, or have like an on-screen notification, or all 3 or any combination of. And where you would activate that is under Administration, Control Panel. And because, like I said, we're dealing with walk-ins this time, so we're going to go to walk-ins and choose the center. And in the last section here, miscellaneous, this is where those 3 labels are going to be. So I think they were working on relabeling them, so I might not have that here. Let me see. There they are. Okay. So one says send email as students sign in or waiting. The other is a sound notification as a reminder when somebody signs in. And the last one is to send SMS. So that's there. And tomorrow period filter. So in the drop down for your appointments, I guess we missed, that we have like today, tomorrow, yesterday. They're all in there now. So you have a lot of different options. I can show that real quick. I won't take that. So we go center attendance, appointments, view all. And so we're talking about in this period filter. So you have a lot of different options. Like if you just want to see a limited view, this is that new tomorrow one. So, if you're looking, oh, what do I have, appointment wise for tomorrow? There's a refresh button now on the appointment screen, which is really helpful. A lot of times people would see that the student was maybe a no-show when they actually did show up for it. It just hadn't refreshed. So about every minute you'll see this screen blink and do that auto refresh. So we try to incorporate that in as many screens as possible. That's also available on the Manage Center screen, and as Garrett mentioned, in the Dropbox feature that we have now. Moving on, we have improved our login security. So basically, it just makes it harder for anybody who's not got the correct password to log in using your account. So after so many attempts, it's going to lock you out for a certain time period, and then you'll have to log in later. The next thing is our new Android app for students. So we have an Accudemia app, but it was only available originally for Apple. But after just working on this for a few months or so, I think it's been maybe about a month or two since the Apple release, we've actually got the Android is available as well. And I just wanted to show this off to you. So I'm going to go ahead and activate my preview here. Okay, so let me minimize that. So here we have the Accudemia icon. So of course you're going to go and download that in your Play Store. Once you have it downloaded though, you're going to have this little Accudemia app icon. And when we log in, we can kind of see it looks very similar to our Apple app. So I've got the college news at the top, and then any upcoming appointments that I have with students. I can scroll through these. I can click on one of them to kind of see more information. And if I had any upcoming appointments, I could actually see that information as well. From that screen though, I do have some buttons at the top where I can click to see for a specific date, or go ahead and schedule an appointment as well. So from here, I have the student selection, and I can go ahead. This is actually going to go ahead and set the student, pick a center. This is just information about that center. And we're going to choose in-person tutoring, English comp. And you can see that this staff member is available. So we're going to go ahead and pick a time slot with them. 2 p.m. looks good. And at this point, I could add some notes, attach a file. These are all common things that you're used to in Accudemia, but it's just available through your app. So we'll go ahead and just put in a note. Okay, and then once I've got everything looking right, I can either go back or go ahead and confirm this. Oh, and it didn't like my time, so let me go back and make sure that was set right. Okay, well, I might have messed that up in the last second when I was creating that appointment time. But basically that's how that would work. And then I could view any of my upcoming appointments in the appointment section. Also, if you're taking advantage of the Book Smart feature, we have all the same features available on the website and the app. I can see any notifications, like if I've created an appointment, if I have any surveys to take. And then if I click on the main menu, you can see there's a lot of other options. I can update my account. If it's allowed, I can go ahead and change my email, change my personal information. I also have a pending surveys, so I can actually see the list of surveys. this person completed them all. And then all the other information, like if I have any messages that were sent to me or if I want to create a new message. And it's pretty much I just search for the user that I want to message and put a subject, and that'll go not only to the user through their app, but also through to their email. So. My visit history, so I can actually look back and kind of pull detailed information about my visits. User docs. This is basically just a quick way to research information about the app and about us, contact, and the logout option. So that's pretty much it. And I'm going to go ahead and, I didn't really have much to kind of speak on with the Google Calendar because I know we're going to have that available, but I just didn't have my Google Calendar wasn't ready to be set up for that. But this is basically going to give you the same functionality. So if you're a Google school instead of a Microsoft school, maybe this is going to give you that same ability to have a two-way sync. So any appointments that you have in your Google Calendar will let you have those blocked off on your Accudemia tutor schedule. So this is a feature for your tutors that will help them maintain their schedule. So you still have to set a schedule in Accudemia so we know when you're available and what services and what courses you're available for. But once that's set, this will help keep you from double booking, like from your other schedules or your other calendar. So, but next up I have Justin Verasimi with the enhancements for this update.
All right, thank you for that, Nick. I'm going to be going over the enhancements to in this new Accudemia update. It's more, these are more minor than the new features. These are, it's mostly just an improvement of existing features that are already there. So Nick and Garrett have been demoing the software, and I'm going to show you a couple things, but it's mostly just descriptions for these because, like I said, they are more on the minor side. But the first one we have is going to be the appointment viewer that has been renamed. And so this section has been renamed to availability now, since on the tutor schedule, we can now accommodate walk-in and drop-in hours. And we have also implemented support for improved service modalities. Next, we have the enhanced engagement board. This has a couple different new features, and they also support improvements to make it more appealing to the users. So the first one we have is going to be the new Accudemia admin forum. So this allows your staff and admins to connect with other users across the Accudemia colleges and universities to ask questions and exchange information about their best practices. We also have a new academic centers admin forum, which is a bit similar, but this is going to allow you to connect with other admins across the Accudemia institutions to ask those questions and share information about their best practices. And we also have a new announcements board. So this is similar to the news on your homepage, but it may be more relevant for those using the engagement board. You can customize these new announcement boards for each center using Accudemia. We also have improved class or course updates, and we added the ability to recreate the same course or class once it's been deleted. All right, we also have improved appointment admin functions, and we improved the edit presence button. So this keeps the edit presence screen always in focus, so the grayed out background doesn't hide any important options. And we also have the improved appointment view, and Nick had gone over that, where you can add the new, you can sort by the service, and there are some new filters there. And so admins are also able to view all active appointment types. We also improved user management, so we updated the ability for admins to save user details more efficiently. And we have also improved the Accudemia app notifications. And as we saw, Nick was demoing that app right there. And we have also added the ability to opt out of Booksmart. And so this is where you're able to disable the functionality of Booksmart at your institution. So just to go over a couple of those things that I had described here, we can see on this homepage with the widget, we have the availability here, which has been renamed, and before it was the appointment viewer. And I'm going to show you now where you can opt out of Booksmart. So it's going to be administration and control panel. And so if you scroll down, you're going to see here, under the public forum settings, we have a new option for Booksmart. Unlike some of the other control panel settings, this is just going to be at the college level, and then you're going to view settings, and then you can click opt out right here, and then you're able to save that change at the top. And I just wanted to show one more time the appointments and view all, where you can see these, the service and sort by. So this is going to be pretty helpful for anyone who is trying to find those specific items. So that's about it for this Accudemia update. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it over back to Chad.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Justin. Again, thank you all for joining us today. A couple things before we get into the Q&A, because I see there are a couple of questions. Again, this webinar was recorded, so we are going to be sending you a recording of this webinar, again, for you to watch it yourself again or share it with anyone else who wasn't able to make it. Also, you're going to be sent to a survey after this webinar. We'd love to get your feedback on the new features, and maybe get some ideas on what you'd like to see in a future release of Accudemia. And if you do have any questions, whether it is about a certain feature, how do we implement this, is this a part of our license, please give us a call or shoot us an email. We have our contact information there, support@accudemia.com, so that we can assist you. So I do see we have a couple of questions. One of the first ones that I see is, can the support Dropbox be used for more than just asynchronous tutoring? And it's actually a good question. Really, any center can use this particular ticketing or Dropbox feature. You may be thinking like a writing center, it's a great option for students to submit their papers for asynchronous help. We've thought about how tutoring centers could possibly use it so that students can either request a tutoring session or the ability to request maybe a course that you don't offer a tutoring session for. Another way we thought about is we have talked to some advising centers, financial aid, or some other type of centers where students might call in and just simply ask a question. Maybe the person answering the calls and fielding those questions doesn't know the answer. So instead of just writing it down or sending it somewhere, you can actually submit a ticket yourself, and an advisor, someone who's working financial aid, or someone at the center can then pull the ticket and work on it themselves and answer back to the student. And so it's a great way of being able to keep track of the questions and the tickets that have been submitted to your center and who has handled them, and how long it took, what was the response. So really any type of center can use it for various ways. Now, Nick or Garrett, I don't know if you want to answer some of the next questions that we have.
Yeah, it looks like I've got a question here in chat. It says, are we going to be receiving more reporting tools for the support module? And the answer to that is yes. This is the initial release for the support Dropbox module. It's coming with Accudemia 9. We do have plans to, of course, improve and enhance not only the support Dropbox module, but of course Accudemia as a whole, as always. Another great question. After too many attempts, how long are students locked out before they can try again, from Monique? And the answer to that is it's going to be a 15-minute lockout window once they hit that limit on login attempts.
Yeah, no, I don't know if Garrett or Nick, if you could answer the one of the other questions. Is there a way for tutors to sign in and out of the app? I'm not sure.
They can like log into the app and they can help students make appointments through their version of the app. They can also view their past appointments with the students. But it was mainly focused on being like a student-facing app. We actually have another, it's like an older app though, called IACU that would operate more like a sign-in kiosk and would allow students and tutors to sign themselves in or out. So if that's something that you're interested in, like having a mobile kiosk kind of device, you might want to look into that. There is a licensing fee with that other app though.
All right. Do we see any other questions? I only saw the ones that we've mentioned so far.
I think that's about it. Give it a couple more seconds just if anybody's currently typing, since GoToWebinar, doesn't tell us that, but I think that's all the questions we've got today.
Great,
Okay.
and I'm sure some of you will be coming up with some other questions as you see the release. I believe the Accudemia 9 the release date is the 19th. Is that right, Nick?
19th, yes.
That's
19th
correct.
of this
Yep.
month. You'll see these new features in Accudemia. So when you do have those questions, again, please contact us, support@accudemia.com. I'm sure most of you know Nick and Justin. I've worked with them before. Contact them again if you have any questions or you need any help. And so new question. So Mira asked, is there going to be a recording? So yeah, Mira, I know you joined late. So yes, we did record today's webinar. We will be sending it to everyone who registered. So that'll be sent to you in the next couple of days whenever the recording is ready. All right, we want to thank you all for joining today. We hope you really like the new features. Again, if you have questions, please feel free to contact us. And just as a reminder, you're going to be sent off to a survey. We would really love your feedback on the new features and what what you like to see in a later release. Thank you all. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Thanks, y'all. Take care.
All right, bye everyone.